Good morning, all the dignitaries and delegates present here. Welcome back once again. Now I, Dr. Madhu Verma, Assistant Professor at ITS College of Pharmacy, along with my co-host Dr. Shalini Kapoor Sahani, welcome our first speaker of the online 5-day FTP on drug
Hello.
engineering challenges and innovations, sponsored by AICT Atal Academy from
Welcome. Are
13th
you able to hear me?
to 17th September 2021. Professor Brahmeshwar Mishra. Yes, sir. Sir, shall I start?
Please go ahead.
Okay, sir. Dr. Mishra is currently working as Professor of Pharmaceutics, HAG scale, at the Department of Pharmaceutical Engineering and Technology, IIT BHU. He has served as head of 4 years in the same department. He has 37 years of teaching and research experience. He is a reputed teacher, researcher, and a successful administrator. He is also serving as chairman of Medical Board of IIT BHU since its inception in June 2012. His area of research is development of novel drug delivery systems, including nano
Hello.
formulations and their evaluation for
Hello.
bioavailability, pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic
Hello.
parameters. He has guided 2 PDF, 28 PhD, and
Hello.
78 MPharm and MTech students. Currently, 5 PhD, 2 MPharm and MTech students are working under him. He has published around 260 articles in
Sharing
reputed
meeting.
international and national journals, 226 abstracts, 20 book chapters, 2 books, and 3 patents. Till date, he has 6,954 citations, H-index 40 and I-index 134 to his credit. He has evaluated more than 150 PhD theses of different universities of India and abroad. He has also completed many research projects. He has been conferred with 27 different awards, including Best Young Pharmacy Teacher Award 1999 by APTI, Best Publication Awards for 4 consecutive years from 2011 to 2014 amongst IIT BHU faculty by IIT BHU Alumni Association USA, Lifetime Achievement Awards by 3 different organizations, and recently Pharma Legend Award by Sri Balaji Book Distributors, New Delhi. Currently, he is President of Society of Pharmaceutical Education and Research and served earlier as Vice President also. He is Fellow of Biotech Research Society of India and also of Society of Pharmaceutical Education and Research. He visited many countries and delivered several lectures in India and abroad. He is on editorial board and reviewer of large number of reputed international and national journals and has served or currently serving as expert member of AICTE, PCI, UGC, DST, Ayush, NBA, NAC, and also of the selection committees for various universities and institutes, including NIPERS. He has also successfully completed Leadership of Academicians program LEAP, sponsored by Government of India MHRD, for 2 weeks in India at BHU and for 1 week at Nanyang Technological University, Singapore in September-October 2019. Professor Mishra is an acclaimed researcher, as is evidenced by his name appearing top 2% of the world scientists list in pharmacology category, recently declared by Stanford University, USA. Sir, we feel honored and privileged to have you at this knowledge sharing platform. Welcome, sir.
I'm going to talk you on OSMO regulated novel drug delivery system. Is it audible?
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay. So please show me the next slide. Next slide, please. Okay. So another click, please. Click again. imagination is the highest form of research. Albert Einstein is it is already well-known figure. Is a well-known figure, and according to him, the research is supposed to be considered as the highest form of the imagination. And next, please. Next is there is another German scientist, Albert Szent-Györgyi, and he says that research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. So actually, this is more close what we are doing. That what we are doing is we just take an introduction part and we try to see that whatever has been done in past and where is the gap in the research, and that we try to fill the gap by doing our own research. So therefore, Albert Szent-Györgyi, what he's saying about research, this is more close to our what we are doing the research. That is, again, I am reading. Research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought. So that is what we do in research, considering that whatever we are doing is not done by anybody else. Next, please. So this is, still oral drug delivery and conventional immediate release. Even today, more than 50% of the medicines available into the market is based on the oral drug delivery system. Around 26% is transmucosal. You can see right side pyramid. Transdermal is around 12%, injectables 8%, and rest 1.5%. So this pyramid still indicates that oral is the still preferred choice for the many of the administration of the many of the medicine. The left side, you are seeing the obvious advantages or merits of the controlled release dosage form, which you already know, but still you can just go with one by one. That it can reduce the dosing frequency, it can increase the patient convenience and compliance, gastrointestinal and systemic side effect is reduced, fluctuation is, and this reduction in side effect is also because of the less fluctuating plasma drug levels are there. Efficacy safety ratio is more, that means more is the efficacy, and safety is more, that means toxicity is less. Uniformity in drug effect we expect from this kind of administration, and the dose given overall in the controlled drug delivery system is less. So this is the obvious advantages of any drug delivery system. This of course fits into the osmotic drug delivery system as well. May I have the next slide, please? So you can see that when we take this is a plasma drug concentration on the x-axis and frequency of dosing. And A1, A2, A3, A4 is the number of doses which has been administered to the patient. So the basic problem happens with this kind of IR type of administration, that there is a seesaw fluctuation is there in drug level, and there is a therapeutic range you might be knowing already. Therapeutic range is a range between MEC and the MSC, which is toxic level. So drug levels in plasma should always remain within therapeutic range. But in case of IR formulation, drug fluctuations results into crossing of drug levels to above toxic level, as well as it goes below toxic level. So this is the problem. And because of that, if you see the dotted line, which is absolutely falling into the therapeutic range. So if you see this dotted line, this is the obvious ideal requirement for any drug delivery system. But this is generally obtained with the transdermal delivery system or intravenous infusion. In case of osmotic delivery system also, this kind of profile is obtained to some extent. And therefore, objective is, with any kind of drug delivery system, including the osmotic drug delivery system, is to continuously maintain the drug concentration in the therapeutic range. Next slide, please. Next. So this is the basic problem, with the multiple dose, especially if the drug is given 3 or 4 times. Now this is a profile to be given 4 times. 4 times means every 6 hours. Every 6 hours means the drug has to be taken at least once in night after coming out of the bed by putting alarm or something like that, but nobody is doing like that. So what happens? We don't get a steady state at any days of the treatment. There is a continuous fluctuations are there every day. And because of these fluctuations, we every day in the night hour, we have periods of toxicity. And every day early morning, we do have periods of the no effect. So because of this problem, there is a problem with the medication, with the IR formulation, that we are not continuously able to maintain the drug concentration in the therapeutic range. And basic objective of any medication is to continuously maintain the drug concentration in therapeutic range, which can be obtained or which can be done with the help of osmotic control drug delivery system to some extent. May I have the next slide, please? Now see the factors affecting drug release. In the case of IR, immediate release formulation or conventional formulation, the hydrodynamic condition of the absorption site. Hydrodynamic condition includes, that vibration, which is because of the peristaltic movement, that is variable due to presence of food or absence of food or hyperacidity conditions, etc. Presence or absence of food also affect the absorption, and bioavailability fluctuation happens into the GI tract because of the pH variation into the GI tract. So therefore, this is one of the big issue, in the IR formulation, that if it is to be given by per oral route going into the GI tract, the absorption is going to be highly variable. But these factors which are going to affect the absorption or bioavailability of IR formulation, the same factor is going to be unaffected in case of osmotic drug delivery system. And in case of osmotic controlled oral drug delivery system, when we take, neither hydrodynamic condition of the absorption site or neither the presence of food cause any kind of the change into the bioavailability fluctuation. So that is the beauty of this particular formulation of osmotic system. How it happens, I will be telling you later on. So drug release from the osmotic system is never influenced by the different physiological factors of the GI tract, which is mentioned above. So this is one of the beautiful aspects, that generally the osmotic drug delivery system gives zero order delivery, which is a controlled delivery. And we can always have the predictable drug release characteristic from the medication. So this is the required thing for any kind of the drug delivery, which is going to be obtained with the osmotic drug delivery system in a very nice way. May I have the next slide, please? So osmotic drug delivery system can be mostly designed to provide controlled delivery throughout the GI tract. Actually, let me explain in brief about what is this movement of drug into the GI tract, movement of formulation. As you already know, that in stomach, after administration of either food or any medicine, in stomach it can remain for 2 to 3 hours, which we call as a gastric emptying time, that is 2 to 3 hours. And then for 6 to 8 hours it remains into the small intestine. And after 10 to 12 hours of the administration of the medication, it goes into the colon. So you can say for 24 hours it may remain into the GI tract, including the colon. The colon is a site where the absorption is highly variable. In drug delivery system, especially of any type, the basic concept is that whatever delivery rate you are providing from the formulation, the same should be the absorption rate. Because if the absorption rate is going to change than the delivery rate, then very purpose of the designing a drug delivery system is lost. So therefore, in any case, the absorption of the drug or bioavailability should not be affected. In other words, with whatever rate you are able to deliver the drug, with the same rate, the drug should be absorbed. And that can be possible if the drug is, if the medication or the formulation is restricted into the into particular segment of the GI tract where absorption is going to be not affected by any factor. So, after 12 hours when the formulation reaches into the colon, it always affects the absorption. So maybe even with the osmotic drug delivery system or any formulation of drug delivery type, the absorption may be affected into the colon. To avoid this problem, the gastroretentive concept has come into the picture, and you already know that we can, by gastroretentive concept or by, let us say, floating formulation concept, we can retain the formulation into the stomach not only for 2 to 3 hours, but as high as long hours as we wish. So anyway, the osmotic drug delivery systems, different types, which I am going to talk after this, will be of different types. One is elementary osmotic pump, which travels throughout the GI tract. But I am also going to talk to you the osmotic system of gastroretentive type and also colon targeted type. Oral osmotic systems are generally most suitable for those drugs which are having intermediate water solubility. That is in the range of 550 to 300 milligram per ml. So this water solubility is more preferred water solubility, but we can take the drug even with a drug which is having solubility less than 50 milligram per ml, we can say poorly water soluble, or even we can take a drug which is having more than 300 milligram per ml water solubility, so you can say that is a highly water soluble. So though there is a restriction for EOP that 50 to 300 milligram per ml water solubility drugs are the best candidate, but by some modification into the formulation, which I am going to tell you later, we can still take those formulation.
Hello, sir, your mic. Hello. Yes, sir.
Yes. So those formulations which are having extremes of solubility, that is poor solubility or the highly water soluble, they can also be taken into the osmotic system. We can also even prepare the herbal drugs or the Ayurvedic drugs, you can say, as a osmotic formulation. May I have the next slide, please? So now I am going to talk to you about the different types of the osmotic system. And out of these different types, the very first one, which is the most popular, is an elementary osmotic pump. This is the first type. But the problem with this EOP is that it travels throughout the GI tract. That means it remains in 2 hours, for 2 hours into the stomach, then 6 to 8 hours into the small intestine, and then after 10 to 12 hours, it goes into the large intestine. And in large intestine, whatever, even you are able to deliver drug with the zero order rate from the osmotic system, but absorption may be affected. And if absorption is affected, then very purpose of delivering drug is going to be lost, as I said earlier. So therefore, this is the only drawback of the EOP. Another limitation of EOP is that I said that the water solubility of drugs should be in the range of 50 to 300 milligram per ml. All the osmotic pumps which I am going to discuss, I will discuss on 3 aspects. One is that how it can be prepared. Second aspect is that how the coating and drilling can be done of orifice. And third, what is the mechanism of drug release. So these are the 3 aspects which I'll be talking for each and every formulation. And first, please listen this elementary osmotic pump in with great, the elementary osmotic pump. Then you have to do the compression coating with the help of HPMC, sodium bicarbonate, and formulation is ready, but you have to make a orifice here, and that orifice should be made in a way that it makes the hole in both of the coating membrane, that is PMC as well as the CM membrane. Then how it works? When it goes into the stomach, because it is going to remain into the stomach for as long as you wish, so the HPMC layer outside is going to swell. And because of the swelling, the size of tablet will increase. And sodium bicarbonate is going to react, which is present into the HPMC mixture, first layer of the coating. This sodium bicarbonate will react with the HCl of the stomach fluid, And by reacting with HCl, it is resulting into the formation of sodium chloride, carbon dioxide, and water. That carbon dioxide gas is embedded into the swelled polymer. So when polymer is swelling, carbon dioxide gas is embedded. And by embedding the carbon dioxide gas into the swelled polymer, actually, the whole tablet becomes very, very buoyant. Okay. And because of this buoyancy, the tablet starts floating. And when tablet starts floating, it does not go into the small intestine. It remains there till it is floating. So I am not going into further detail because floating drug delivery system itself is a complete 1 hour or more than 1 hour lecture. So therefore, you can see in the next slide, please. And mechanism of drug release is the same as it is there in the case of elementary osmotic pump. So next slide, you can see that when in dissolution testing, when this tablet osmotic, that is floating osmotic tablet, is placed into the dissolution vessel at 0 time, it is sink. It has gone at the bottom of the beaker, and within 3 minutes, you can see the increase in the size of the tablet because of the swelling of the HPMC. And you can also see inside, some bubbling type of, let us say, like foam. This foam is nothing but the bubbles or the bubbles of the gas, carbon dioxide gas, embedded into the HPMC. And this makes the surface completely buoyant. So within 5 minutes, this tablet starts floating onto the surface of the gastric medium, that is in this case, the dissolution medium of 900 ml. And that clearly indicates that how good this floating tablet is. It remains there in the floating condition for as high as 24 hours. And therefore, I am saying that you can deliver your drug into the stomach itself for as long as 24 hours through the still zero order. And this thread, which is you are seeing at the bottom, is nothing but is the delivery indicating of the drug. So this is, is clearly indicated that the floating osmotic tablet can also be prepared for targeting of drug to treat any problem into the stomach level, let us say H. pylori treatment or hyperacidity treatment or gastric carcinoma treatment. We can prepare floating osmotic tablet. And even for sustain and control release purpose, we can allow the formulation to remain into the stomach for 24 hours in order to have zero order delivery by osmotic pump, but zero order absorption is also going to happen because from the stomach side, the drug should be absorbable well, there will be no problem. So therefore, for that concept, any of the formulation or any of the medication which is to be given once a day, that is once for 24 hours, it is always better to prepare floating tablet, because if you don't prepare floating tablet, after 12 hours, it goes into the colon, and in colon absorption is affected, viability is affected, and delivery, their absorption may be less than the delivery rate, and your purpose of sustained and control release may be lost. So therefore, floating is preferred for not only targeting of drug to the stomach, but also it preferred for, for having a perfect sustain and control release for 24 hours or even more. Next slide, please. Next. Can I have the next slide, please?
Sir, I am doing, please.
नहीं मूव हो रहा है क्या?
नहीं सर, ये फ्रीज लग रहा है. एस्केप करके चला के देखो.
अभी तक तो बहुत अच्छा गया है. हाँ नहीं, हाँ वहाँ से लगे. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. So it is a colon-targeted drug delivery system. Even osmotic pump can be used as a colon-targeted drug delivery system. Now, here is the purpose that, if you want to deliver the drug for the local problem of the colon, say colitis or, colon cancer or any other inflammation at the colon site or any other kind of the problem, then these osmotic pumps can be used for the colon-targeted purpose as well. Now, what is the formulation? Again, it is an EOP. And this EOP, elementary osmotic pump, is having a pore former, as in the case of controlled porosity osmotic pump. But in controlled porosity osmotic pump, CPOP, we have used water soluble pore former. In this case, we are using guar gum or chitosan as a pore former. Why? Because guar gum or chitosan, especially the guar gum, is not going to be affected by the stomach and small intestinal fluid, especially they are not going to be dissolved and not resulting into the pore formation. Because what is our objective? Our objective is not to have any pore or any orifice into the stomach and small intestine, so that stomach and small intestine is bypassed and this orifice let be formed into the colon only, and therefore delivery can happen into the colon. So EOP having a GG, guar gum as a pore former, drug and osmogen, etc., everything is the same. And then you are also going to have an enteric coating like CAP coating. So when it goes into the stomach, because outside it is a COP coating, so it is not going to deliver anything into the stomach. When it goes into the small intestine, then of course COP, which is a brown color, is dissolved at the second stage after reaching into the intestine, small intestine, and still the CA coating with the pore former is still intact. Little bit of the flexibility might come into the into the guar gum, which might make little bit of the let us say pulpiness, and a small delivery may happen into the small intestine. But you know, I think you might be knowing that any formulation can be called as a colon targeted drug delivery system if it is delivering 70% of the total dose or more than 70% of the total dose, then it may be called as a colon targeted drug delivery system. That means for being called as a colon targeted drug delivery system, 30% of the drug might be delivered, 30% or less might be delivered into the stomach or the small intestine. So anyway, small intestinal delivery might happen, but ultimately when it goes into the colon, you know, this guar gum is bio-eaten by the bacteria, gut bacteria, and because of that, you know, or you can say microbial degradation of the guar gum happens. That results into the formation of the micropores. Solvent has already entered in, solvent will enter in, dissolve the drug, dissolve the osmotic agent, osmotic pressure will be generated, micropores are formed, then drug will be delivered by zero order fashion through the micropores. So any specific treatment for colon might be given by this particular colon targeted drug delivery system. Next, please. So these are the main drug delivery system. I think I have already, we have lost some time. I do not know. Can I go till 1 o'clock? Hello.
Yes, sir, you can go.
Okay. So even we can deliver osmotic pump for two drugs. Two drugs simultaneously can be delivered. There is a sandwich type of the. This we have prepared also. I'll be showing you. Let me explain that in our own tablet which we have prepared. We can deliver till now what we have been talking. We have been talking about the delivery of the solid drug as a liquid. But let us say if the drug is as a liquid itself. There are many drugs which are available. For example, if you want to deliver fish oil or cod liver oil, then also we can prepare. That is available as a liquid. We can prepare push-pull type of the osmotic pump, and we can deliver them in a zero order fashion. Next slide, please. Next. I was talking about this slide. That is, we can deliver the liquid drug with the help of push-pull osmotic pump. Next slide, please. Now, this is another osmotic system, which is known as a osmotic matrix system. Now, actually, let me tell you that when you see the profile of osmotic system, initially there is a small delay is there, small lag phase is there in delivery, because, you know, for osmotic tablets or pump to become operational in order to deliver drug with the zero order, it takes little time. And that T lag always is there. In the case of osmometric system or osmotic matrix system, that T lag can be avoided. And we can have the zero order delivery right from the zero time. So what is this? This is also an EOP. But I am talking about, let us say it is a matrix type of a tablet. What contains matrix? Drug or any soluble polymer, like HPMC may be there. So you prepare a tablet, convex shape, drug plus HPMC. And also, of course, you are going to add a small amount of the osmotic agent. So in other words, you can say drug plus osmopolymer is there, osmotic agent plus polymer. And then it is a convex shape tablet is made. Then you are going to do coating, semi-permeable, but coating is not done on whole tablet. The coating is done on three sides. This also we have prepared one Girl has done PhD on osmotic systems, including she prepared also this system. The coating we had done by dip coating and also brush coating in the laboratory or in the industrial level. This coating may be a big challenge, but that also can be done with the help of, vacuum pump. So what I am saying is three-side coating is there, and the upper one side is completely uncoated. So now the formulation is ready. You don't require in this system also drilling. So drilling is not required in three osmotic pumps. One is controlled porosity osmotic pump, second is colon targeted osmotic pump, and third is the osmotic matrix system. These are the three systems where drilling of the orifice is not required. Now, when this formulation goes into the GI tract, the stomach fluid enters through the semi-permeable membrane. Also, fluid enters from the upper side or the uncoated side. So, uncoated side is directly coming in contact with the solvent, and this results into the immediate delivery. So, the lag phase which is happening, that lag phase is immediately avoided because of the delivery of drug from the uncoated part of the tablet. And then the solvent has gone in, osmotic agent has dissolved, osmotic pressure has developed, polymer is swelling. When polymer is swelling, you can see it look like a ice cream cone because the three-side coating membrane is rigid. The CA membrane is rigid. So when inside the polymer is swelling, SPMC or whatever polymer, it is not able to do any kind of pressure onto the membrane. Rather than that swelled polymer is just moving upward to the uncoated part, and the whole tablet look like a ice cream cone. Your delivery of drug is going to be dual controlled. Here we are getting much zero order delivery with the avoidance of the lag phase. Why? Because the osmotic pressure is one, which is forcing the drug to come out, and second is the delivery is getting further controlled by the hydrogel, because the drug is not free to grow easily. Drug has to pass the consistency of the hydrogel or viscosity of the hydrogel, and therefore delivery is much controlled. So osmometric system, the only problem is of the three-side coating. Otherwise, it is one of the beautiful formulation which can avoid the lag phase as well as can give perfect linearity into the drug delivery. So this is one of the example I am showing in a fast manner. Is it's a M.Pharm thesis he has done, Bhavesh Patel, quite before, and he prepared a bilayer tablet of anti-tubercular drug consisting of in one layer rifampicin. Rifampicin characteristic, it is a poorly water soluble drug, and the downside, other side, it is a isoniazid. Isoniazid is a highly water soluble drug. So rifampicin, since it is containing it is a poorly water soluble, we are using in this solubility enhancer like SLS or citric acid, and then all other compression techniques are the same as I have explained earlier. And since isoniazid is a highly water soluble, we are using PEO in order to increase the consistency. What we have seen that if you don't use PEO, then isoniazid delivery is irregular. If you don't use SLS citric acid, rifampicin release is irregular. But if you go on adding solubility modifier or the soluble polymer into the isoniazid, you are going to get the more linear profile. The orifice were drained in both sides of the tablet because we want to deliver both drugs simultaneously. Orifice size was 500 micrometer, and let us see the data. So this is the bilayer osmotic formulation batch isoniazid. You can see MCC is a diluent, PEO soluble polymer mannitol because it is highly water soluble, and because highly water soluble, so osmotic agent of less osmotic pressure we are using. PUET is used as a binding agent, magnesium acetate as a glidant and lubricant, and rifampicin, MCC is diluent, sodium lauryl sulfate and citric acid is a solubility enhancer. Sodium chloride you are using because it is a poorly water soluble drug, so we are using a high osmotic pressure osmotic agent like sodium chloride, binding agent, glidant and lubricant. Coat thickness, total weight, etc. Everything can be measured. So this is the white is isoniazid and red is the rifampicin. You know, rifampicin is red in color. Those who are taking a rifampicin tablet, their urine becomes completely red. Next slide. I'm sorry. Next slide. Oh, I'm sorry. Next slide. So this part I'm going to show of the Bhavesh Patel. Yeah. So this is a bi-layer tablet which we have prepared. Next slide, please. This is the formula which I have just explained. Next slide, please. And this is the tablet which we have prepared. I'm sorry, I just forgot to tell you. I was seeing on my screen. This is the problem with the sharing of the slide. So anyway, the upper surface red is the rifampicin layer and downside is the white is the isoniazid. The drilling is done on both the sides and the formulation is ready. It's good looking. Now let us see the data. If you, next slide please. If you see the SEM of membrane, the before in vitro dissolution of these two tablets, the first one A, and after in vitro dissolution, and you can also see the SEM of orifice, which is a mechanically drilled orifice, but still you can see how nicely controlled the diameter is there. And this flap is because of the this membrane mechanical drilling, but this flap is not going to have any negative aspect because pressure inside is very high. Inside the hole there is a very high pressure of osmotic agent, osmotic pressure. So that's why this flap is always folded outside, and that's why delivery is going to happen without any problem. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. So you can see this data, isoniazid, different batches, 1 to 3 batches, different batches are there, cumulative percent release versus time. And this is rifampicin release from the same tablet. So the two left side and right side from the same tablet. And in the upper profiles, we have not used solubility modifier, or in the case of isoniazid, that is SLS citric acid was not used. And here also PEO was not used in the case of rifampicin. So you can see irregular drug release, irregular, not perfect linearity. But when we use this sodium lauryl sulfate and citric acid, in the case of isoniazid, which was PEO, when we are using in the case of INH, we are going to get perfect linearity from 0 to time, 24 hours. And when we are using citric acid and SLS for rifampicin, which is purely water soluble drug, we are getting perfect linearity right from 0 to 24 hours. So that means we can, by using solubility modifiers, we can always get zero order delivery. Next slide, please. This is a slide which is showing that how one can say that the delivery is osmotic pressure driven, or osmotic pressure is acting as a mechanism of drug delivery. For that, what we can do, in the dissolution media, you can increase the osmotic pressure by adding salt. So that means here you can see the upper two lines. Previous slide, please. Previous slide. Previous slide. Yeah. So you can see the both आगे निकल गए. और previous slide. Yeah. Next slide, please. Next slide. So here, here you can see the upper two lines are of the original dissolution media is not having anything, but below two lines there dissolution media we are having some osmotic salt in higher concentration, resulting into the increase in the osmotic pressure of the dissolution media to as high as 94 atmospheric pressure. Initially, when there was no salt into the dissolution media, the osmotic pressure in the dissolution media was 3.7 atmospheric pressure. But when the dissolution media having salt at 94 osmotic pressure, so you can see there is a more than 30 times increase in the atmospheric pressure of osmotic pressure in the dissolution media. So what we are doing actually by doing this, we are reducing the osmotic gradient, because osmotic pressure is already constant inside the tablet, and now outside the tablet, if you have increased the osmotic pressure, so what is happening, delta P minus delta pi minus delta P, this difference is going to give a small value, and when it is a small value, Q by T, that is delivery rate, will be lower, and that's why we have got it at lower delivery rate, much significant lower delivery rate by increasing the osmotic pressure into the dissolution media, indicative of that the delivery is completely osmotic driven. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. So the same formulation was, you can see, was compared with the marketed tablet. Macox Plus. And you can see our the upper one, the first one is the marketed previous slide. Yeah, first, please stay. The first one, the marketed one, you know, is giving a very uncontrolled type of the profile, and our two profiles for isoniazid and the right side rifampicin is perfectly zero order till 24 hours. Next slide, please. I'm just going to show some of the data of my one of the PhD student, Pramod Kumar. So yeah, please stay. This is the formulation. He has used a tramadol hydrochloride. It is a highly water soluble drug. So that's why mannitol with less osmotic pressure is used. You can see it is compared with the marketed upper line is IR, tramadol hydrochloride, and this is a marketed sustained release. बीच वाला जो है और नीचे सभी लीनियर प्रोफाइल हमारे ऑस्मोटिक पंप के हैं. ऑस्मोटिक पंप OP1, OP2, OP3. Complete linearity is there. And this is another batches OP4 and OP5. So you can see even marketed sustained release, which is the intermediate line. Next slide, please. Next slide. Here the upper line, first line is marketed IR. You can see, and intermediate is marketed sustained release, and lower lines are for our own osmotic pumps. Perfect linearity, zero order has been obtained for our own formulations as compared to even marketed sustained release, and of course against marketed IR. Next slide, please. This is indicative of that if you change the pH of the dissolution media, there is no effect. It is a drug delivery is unaffected by the pH of the GI tract, and this is a drug delivery unaffected by the hydrodynamic condition, that is peristaltic moment of the GI tract. This is what I was talking about, that osmotic pump has the beauty that it delivers the drug with zero order without being affected by the hydrodynamic or any other pH change conditions of the GI tract. Next slide, please. This is the orifice diameter. You know, orifice diameter in the range of 0.3 millimeter to 0.7 millimeter has no change onto the drug delivery rate. So, but if you go below 0.3 millimeter, delivery rate will be slow, and if you go beyond 0.7 millimeter, delivery rate will be fast. So, within a certain specific range of the orifice size, we can have zero order delivery. And this is again, if you increase the osmotic pressure in the dissolution media, delivery rate will be slowed down, indicative of that osmotic pressure driven delivery is happening. Next slide, please. This is the in vivo profile in plasma drug concentration, TRS, tramadol hydrochloride concentration. First one is IR profile. You can see the fast decline, sharp peak and fast decline of OP1 batch. OP1 batch is compared, and sustained release is also there. And your OP1 batch, you can see in OP1 batch, which is our osmotic pump, the drug level into the plasma is more than double or even more than double than what it is there into the marketed sustained release. In marketed sustained release and marketed IR formulation, the drug level has reached to the same level at 24 hours. So how you can imagine that marketed sustained release will act as a sustained release for 24 hours? This is the biggest problem with any of the marketed sustained release type of the technology, because technology is not mentioned on the label, and this is a big issue. And here also for OP2 batch, we are also getting a perfect higher level of the maintenance. Or if you compare the overall relative bioavailability in downside pharmacokinetic data is there. So relative bioavailability of our osmotic pump are higher as compared to the MIR and MSR, which is marketed by immediate release and sustained release. And this is stability. Next slide, please.
या तो candidate जो है ऐसा
stability data, this is also indicative that the formulation was stable, no change up to 6 months. Next. So limitations I have already talked during my presentation, so just I am leaving it. Conclusion, if you have to do, next slide, please. So you can conclude like this, that EOP, elementary osmotic pump, can be prepared of the drugs with varying solubility. Second is osmotic technology can be utilized for site-specific delivery into the colon and also into the stomach. Osmotic technology can be explored for sustained and controlled delivery of one or more number of drugs together simultaneously. And this technology can also be utilized for the delivery of drug into the colon. And of course, this technology, next slide, please. This technology can also be utilized for herbal drug. We are just exploring this. And in addition to above, push-pull osmotic pump, controlled porosity osmotic pump, osmotic system, multi-particulate osmotic system, and also an osmotic system for delivery of 2 different drugs can be developed for the controlled and prolonged release. These are all certain publications, 25 publications in different areas. This is very old. We have not updated the impact factor and citation index. It has increased quite a lot, especially the citations, which I'll be including now in my next presentation. This is my research team, including the MPharm and PhD. With the help of them only, I can do this kind of work, and I am able to present in front of you because data generated by them. Of course, guidance, mentorship is a mine, but I try to keep my students always in, happy mode, because I personally believe that with only a happy mode with positive sense of mind, only good work can be done. So I don't try to keep them in a tension, and I already tell them on the very first day when they come to me that please discuss all your personal problems and also any experimental problems or any other problems. Don't remain in tension, don't remain in stress. Everything will be taken care of by the time, and also as much I can care, I will take care. So by keeping them happy, they are doing good work, and then if they are doing good work, of course, research performance is going to be good from the any laboratory, as it is. I am expecting that it is good from our lab also. In the last, I am putting my prayer in the lotus feet of Lord Vishwanath. It is a very big Birla temple of Lord Vishwanath within the campus of Banaras Hindu University. And we are here. I am here since last 40 years in this campus. I came this campus in 1977 as a B.Pharm first year student in the same department, and I passed my B.Pharm 81, M.Pharm 83, and then I became lecturer in 84 permanent. So I have almost given more than 40 years of the time with the blessings of Lord Vishwanath. And whatever I could speak in front of you, it is only because of the blessings of Lord Vishwanath. It is also because of the blessings of Ma Saraswati, goddess of knowledge, which is also the logo of Banaras Hindu University. It is also blessings due to blessings of Malviya ji, who is the founder of this great university, Banaras Hindu University, and also it is due to blessings of father of pharmacy, Professor M.L. Sraf, who created this pharmacy education very first time in not only India but in Southeast Asia, where I studied fortunately, and also I am working there since last 37 years. So with these words, once again I submit my apology for whatever technical hitch has happened, resulted into the delay of my presentation. But I hope finally it is fine. So if you have any questions, I'll be very happy to answer. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there is a question.
Yeah, please.
Sir, there is a question from Alok Pratap Singh, ITS College of Pharmacy. He is asking, is there any specific evaluation parameters for osmoregulated drug delivery system and current regulatory status of these drug delivery carriers?
I mean, the question is half, because whether he's talking about the in vitro evaluation or any other evaluation from the regulation aspect, whatever regulation is valid for the any kind of the drug delivery system, oral, especially for oral drug delivery system, that will be applicable here also. But in vitro dissolution, as we are doing, we are doing in the same way, that is, as we are doing for the IR or sustained release tablet, that we can do for 2 hours into the stomach fluid followed by small intestinal and colonic fluid. So all those things are to be done in the similarly. And same regulation are followed as for other sustained and controlled release formulations.
Okay, sir. Thank you. And one more question from Ms. Siti Chauhan. How to calculate the drug concentration of drug delivery using the osmotic pumps?
Where you want to calculate?
I think
Actually, drug concentration vary, whether you want to calculate in plasma or whether you want to calculate where. Dissolution media. But this is an incomplete question, so skip it.
Okay, sir. Then one question from Raneev Thakur. He is asking that can we formulate herbals as a osmotic drug delivery system?
Yes, yes, I have already said that we are exploring it. Already we do have Ayurvedic faculty in our Institute of Medical Sciences at BHU, and we have started. The only thing is that, it is difficult to go ahead with having crude drugs. But of course, if you are having a solid extract powder, that is also, if it is isolated and already standardized, that will work similarly as any other drug, modern drug or allopathic drug is working. So we can do it, no problem.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I am sure that our audience will be definitely benefited by your expertise in osmo-regulated drug delivery system. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.